let me start by saying congratulations to all the contestants, and thank you very much for your innovation in helping to advance our industry. I've been asked to share my thoughts tonight about our industry, so let me start with this slide. Okay, can we advance the slide? The speed of change is the fastest I've seen in my lifetime. How many of you agree with that? Nobody? I think the whole room would probably raise their hands, right? The speed of change is indeed very, very fast. You think about your personal lives, your professional lives, change is happening all around us at a very, very rapid pace. So how do we deal with that in our industry? Well, you've got to understand the drivers of change. Advances in technology is certainly a big driver. Moore's law says that computing power increases double-fold every 18 months. Think about the fact that Airbnb, Uber, Lyft, these disruptors would not be in business if not because of the empowering technology. And with advances in technology, you can expect that change is going to drive, that they're going to affect even more disruptors. And then, of course, there's the Internet of Things, right? What are the Internet of Things? I think many of us are actually carrying it. Your cell phone is an Internet of Things. With my cell phone, I can turn on the lights in my home, although I'm here in Paris. With my cell phone, I can control air conditioning and heating in my home. I can turn on lights in my home. With Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home, you know that you can give voice commands and they can make things happen for you, including booking a hotel room in the future. So the Internet of Things is going to be a huge driver of change in the future as well. And of course, this forecast would indicate to you that more change is coming because in 2 years' time, there'll be 30 billion connected devices. Think about that for a moment and what that means to hotels. Certainly, all of us would have to put in even more electrical outlets. And there are lots of disruptors entering the marketplace every year. This is the CNBC's top 50 disruptors. How many do you recognize? I only recognize 15 of them, but I do know one thing. All of them are going to drive even more change. And of course, generational shift is driving change. Baby boomers are getting older, we're retiring from work, but then you have all the millennials coming into the workplace, they're working more, earning more money, and spending a lot more money. And boomers and millennials are drastically different in how we look at things, right? Just think about the hotel industry. How many changes have we made in the name of accommodating millennials in the future? Think about the design that's in place today. Think about technology we're putting in our hotels today. And think about the experiences that all of us are trying to achieve to attract millennials to stay with us. So millennials is a huge disruptive force as well. So all these driving factors would actually speed up change. I've been in hotel business for a long time, 40 years. And I know some of you are probably looking at me, 40 years in the industry, I wonder how old this guy is. Well, I can only tell you that eating sushi works wonders. Certainly, there have been a lot of changes in our industry. And think about OTAs that are driving a big share of our business. The two remaining OTAs, basically Booking Expedia, is a duopoly. They control the OTA market. And look at all the OTAs they have bought up over the years. They have the dominant OTAs in every single country. And think about the fact that they've branched into the meta search business. They own the powerful meta search engines like Trivago and Kayak. Think about the fact that now they're posing a big threat to our B2B business. For a very long time, all of us have worked very hard to build relationships with corporate travel managers, meeting planners, or managed travel corporations. But now Airbnb, Expedia and Booking.com are going to these companies and saying, look, you don't need to spend money on creating a travel management company. We have negotiated preferred rates with any hotel you want, And we have the inventory, by the way, to accommodate your travel needs. It's a huge threat to our managed travel business. And of course, they are now in the home sharing in a big way. Expedia just bought 2 more home sharing networks. So they are going to drive a lot of changes. And look at how much money they're spending to promote their business. Expedia this year will spend $6 billion. $6 billion. And Booking is right behind them, $5.6 billion. It's a significant chunk of their revenue. Why are they doing that? Well, they are doing that because they want to take more of our share of business, because our business is highly profitable for them. So with all that money that they're spending, they're going to take even more of our share. And not surprisingly, their share of our business is going up every year. It's a scary picture. And if you look at their share price, apparently lots of investors agree that they're going to even take more share of our business in the future. Airbnb is problematic as well. Do you know that Airbnb just launched Airbnb for Work? They're targeting specifically the meetings business, the team building business, the relocation business that we've enjoyed in the hotel industry for a very long time. They have 700,000 companies signed up with them already. So what's the impact of Airbnb on a hotel profit? Forbes magazine, which I think many of you know, published an article just a few months ago, and it said that in the top 10 cities that Airbnb has the biggest presence in, hotel nights went down by 1.3%, hotel profit went down by 3.7%. So there's indeed a dramatic impact on the hotel industry. And let's remember one thing, with OTAs, it's a channel shift. We still have the business, we pay a commission, but we still have the business. But with Airbnb, it's a share shift. We've lost the business. So Airbnb is a huge threat for our industry. This is a diagram of connectivity at Best Western International. You can see it's mind-boggling, the connectivity that we need today to accommodate all the intermediaries that we have to work with. Lots of new brands have been launched in the last 5 years, and I can't even keep up. I can't even tell you what some of these brands stand for, but lots of brands have been launched in the last few years. And lots of mergers and acquisitions have happened. It's probably impossible for you to read what's on there, but that's the whole point. There's been a lot of merger and acquisition activities. Hotel companies are very busy in creating competitive advantages for themselves. As they grow in size, they gain tremendous advantages. Think about the favorable OTA terms they can negotiate if they have a lot of hotels. Think about the fact that with more hotels to earn points and redeem points, how much stronger their loyalty program is. Think about the synergy and how they can become more effective in their sales efforts because they have a broad portfolio of options that they provide. Think about the cost efficiencies because they have all these hotels to spread their costs over. And think about the fact that because of that, they can spend a lot more money, a lot more quicker to take market share. So scale gives companies tremendous competitive advantages. And for that reason, Best Western has grown now from 1 brand to 13 brands, and I'm quite proud that we've won a lot of awards this year, a record for our company. And I'm particularly proud of this one, which is given by Fast Company, leading business and technology publication. They recognized Best Western this year as the number 6 most innovative company in the areas of artificial intelligence and virtual reality. So I said earlier, the speed of change is the fastest I've seen. How do we compete in this backdrop? I think attitude is everything. How we look at change is everything. It's going to decide whether we're going to be successful or we're going to fail in the future. So what do I mean by that? If you look at that statement, the speed of change is the fastest I've seen, I suggest that you also consider this other statement. The speed of change is the slowest I will see in my lifetime. These 2 statements may look the same, but one uses the past tense, I have seen, meaning that it's in the past. I've seen it in the past. The other one implies it's something in the future because it's I will see. You're anticipating huge changes to come. And this attitude affects how you think, because when you look at things in the past, you tend to be reactive to it. But when you think about the future, you're going to be far more proactive in thinking about change. And they affect the results that we get. when you are reactive, you tend to get smaller incremental improvements. But when you are proactive, you tend to make quantum improvements. And it affects the questions that we ask ourselves to drive those results. When you're reactive, looking at things in the past, you tend to ask yourself, what are 2 improvements I can make? But when you're proactive, think about the future, you're going to ask, what are 2 things others can do to me that's going to make me irrelevant? Those 2 questions yield drastically different results. One is a marginal improvement, the other one is a quantum improvement. Let me illustrate this point by the Great American Hot Dog Eating Contest. I know there's a hot dog eating contest in the United States. It's done every Independence Day, July 4th, in America. It's nationally televised. It's watched by tens of millions of people. So don't ask me why would there be a hot dog eating contest, because I can't fathom why people want to eat that many hot dogs. But the fact remains, it's over 100 years old. The hot dog eating contest has been around since 1916. And you can see the record that was set in the first year was only 13 hot dogs in 8 minutes. But by 2000, it's grown to 25 hot dogs, right? It's grown marginally over all these years. But all of a sudden, in 2001, somebody ate 50 hot dogs in 8 minutes. How can someone eat 50 hot dogs in 8 minutes? Incredible, right? So if you look at these 2 individuals, one is 120 pounds, one is a sumo wrestler weighing 350 pounds. Who ate 50 hot dogs in 8 minutes? It was a hard-fought battle. It was ugly. But in the end, this scrawny little guy, 120 pounds, he's the one that ate 20 hot dogs. So how did he do it? And it started with the questions that was asked. This big sumo wrestler asked the question, how do you eat more hot dog? That's a conventional thinking, right? Because it's the hot dog eating contest. So he's asking the question, how can I put more hot dogs in my mouth and swallow it? That's the question he asked. But the winner, Takeru Kobayashi, asked a different question. He asked, how do I make hot dogs easier to eat? When you ask a different question, you get a different result. What do I mean by that? Well, when he asked a different question, how do I make hot dogs easier to eat? That means he's deconstructing how hot dog is eaten. The conventional wisdom is you shove it in your mouth and you try to chew and swallow it as fast as you can, right? That's eating the hot dog fast. But he's asking, how do I make hot dogs easier to eat? So he totally ignored what the previous records were. Instead, he focused on this thing. He separated the hot dog from the bun, because conventional wisdom is you eat the whole thing, right? But the hot dog is comprised of the hot dog itself, the wiener, and the bread. So he said, why not eat them separately? Because when you eat the hot dog by itself, it's very easy to swallow it without even chewing it. You know what the toughest part about eating a hot dog? It's the bread, because it's dry, it's starchy. So he broke up the bread, he soaked it in water, and now he can swallow it really fast. And periodically, he'd break into the Kobayashi shake. He would shake his body so the food would settle. It's incredible. But this 120-pound guy ate the hot dog because of these reasons. He disrupted the whole hot dog eating contest. He questioned the current assumption, he challenged the status quo, the conventional wisdom, and he rethought the future possibilities. So I suggest to you, with this backdrop of very fast-paced change, the way that we need to be successful is to think like a disruptor, like Takeru Kobayashi, like Airbnb, like Uber. Think like a disruptor. And there's probably no better disruptor than Amazon. When you look at Amazon, they are truly the ultimate disruptor, because they're not disrupting just one industry. They started as a retailer, but look at the businesses they are in now. They're the biggest company in cloud computing. They are one of the largest media companies. They are into a lot of different industries and disrupting every one of these industries. So what compelled Amazon to be so successful? Definitely, they have the thinking of the disruptor. They think, why not? Let's challenge the conventional wisdom. Let's see what we can do. They thought like a disruptor. But another reason for their success is this. Jeff Bezos, as CEO, have said, it's always day one. In every one of the 26 annual stockholder letter that he's written, he starts with, it's always day one at Amazon. Think about day one at a startup company. How exciting that is. It's like sky's the limit. There's no cap on my potential. I can do anything I want when you are a startup, and it's day one. And it's also the attitude that it's do or die. If I don't take care of this today, I might get out of business tomorrow. So that sense of urgency is also really important. So to be successful, I suggest to you that you got to think like a disruptor, but you also have to act like a startup with a sense of urgency. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and bonne chance to all the contestants.